What did I say last week on Raw's review on the In10sity Podcast? I said Dean needs to turn heel. Dean is the one to turn heel from the Shield this time. I said it last week, and gladly WWE is potentially acting upon it. I said, remember how Dean was injured for 9 months, approximately? How potentially he was not sought out, texted, or called as much by Seth or Roman. Do you remember when I said that last week? Well, WWE now is acting upon it, planting the seed on this storyline. The one thing that needs to happen, and that is Dean Ambrose turning heel. I said it last week, and you can go back and listen to it on last week's Raw's review, how I said that because Dean is not being texted, is not being called, is not being sought out by his supposed brothers, okay? He comes back, Roman is the Universal Champion. Seth is the IC champion. And what does Dean have going on for him right now? He has nothing. He's empty-handed. And I'm not saying that, this is WWE's fault. I'm saying it when it comes to storyline. He feels left out. What does he have? Look at Roman. Oh, look at Seth. Look at all the success that they've been having without me. While I was away, while I was being, recovering from injury and almost died from a staph infection. But they didn't contact me as much. They didn't care much for me because they were all more about themselves, going for titles instead of caring about their supposed brother. Where am I? Am I not important? I wasn't sought out. I come back, and all I'm doing is just being Roman's bitch. That's all I'm doing. Because I'm not competing for titles. I'm not, I don't have a title. You know what I mean? This is the opportunity that WWE needs to capitalize on to finally turn Dean heel. Because he needs to turn heel. You're not going to come back with a haircut, being bigger, and, a beard and all, with a better, more heelish look. Because Dean looks like a fucking heel. He looks like a fucking heel. It has to happen. And, the biggest difference, the key difference, attention to detail, people. You know how Drew and Dolph and Braun told Dean how, he comes back and, he barely gets texted by his brothers and sought out whatever. You remember how Seth came in and told Drew, you just happen to be on the same, you're the one that should be concerned because you're just being used by Braun and Dolph. You're just doing Dolph's bidding, you're just helping him out. You're just carrying him off, carrying him out of Hell in a Cell matches, helping him, you're basically doing nothing, But when Drew met with Dean, the biggest difference was, the same thing as I mentioned. They said, he told Dean, you're not being sought out. You weren't texted. You could have died from a staph infection, just like Dolph told him, earlier on the show. But what do I know? But then the biggest difference is when Drew said, it's, but it's not like I have been backstabbed by my fellow brother before. That right there, that is the difference between the Dogs of War and the Shield. The Dogs of War, they just got back together. They got barely any history, of course. But the Shield do, of course, They've been on together for what, 6 years? The Shield has been on for 6 years. They've been in existence for 6 years. And in that history span, 4 years ago, Seth turned on Dean and Roman. So that is the reason right there as to why there's a difference between how Seth wants to play mind games with Drew, telling him how Braun and Dolph are just using him, and when it comes to Drew telling Dean, it's not like Seth, has turned your back on your brothers before, and of course himself, That's the biggest difference right there. And if WWE does not act upon this, I swear on everything, bro, seriously, have something happen on Raw to make this fucking show at least more interesting than what it is right now. Because instantly, Dean Ambrose will become the biggest thing happening on the main roster, including Raw and SmackDown. Seriously. He will be the biggest story going on. And I can't wait to see it because it needs to happen. Whether it's at Crown Jewel where he fucks, he screws over Roman on the Triple Threat match at Saudi Arabia at Crown Jewel between Brock Lesnar, Roman, and Braun Strowman. Whether it's there, I don't care. Before the year ends, I really hope to see Dean Ambrose turn heel. Because the seed is planted, guys. It's there. It's there. So you're not going to tell me that WWE is going to do this for nothing. Because they need to act upon it. It has to happen. It has to happen. So this is great. This is great. I like where this is going. And I hope that WWE does not fucks this up. Seriously. It needs to happen. So, I'm really hoping that, like I said, before the year ends, this heel turn needs to happen. This is the In10sity Podcast. I am your host, Stay True 92. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate it. Please leave a like and subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell for all notifications. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Username, The In10sity Podcast. Quick shout out to my fellow friend, Atomic Kevin, on his Instagram. I'll be having that below. He's the person that created the graphics and the logo as you see on the video. Please give him a follow and check out his artwork as a tattoo artist. Now, without further ado, before I get into this review, seriously, real quick here. Real quick. No, I'm lying. I'm not real quick. I really need to just get this off my chest. How many times are you going to have Brie Bella go out there and be the reckless botch of a fucking talent? Because, no, seriously, wait, hold on. Let me take that back. She's no talent. She fucking sucks. I don't know if you guys were paying attention, but for one, she needs to become her own fucking person and stop piggybacking off of her fucking husband with this whole yes kick bullshit. Okay? Daniel Bryan is the one that does it. She should be doing something else. Now, I don't know if you guys noticed, But those yes kicks that she was delivering to Liv Morgan, I don't know if you noticed, but she caught her twice on the face. Shin to the face. Either her mouth, the bridge of her nose, the nose, forehead, whatever. Some intense ass kicks. And I'm sitting here like, what the fuck? Last week was a botched ass fucking suicide dive. Then the next night, she fucking hits the fucking bullshit. Okay? She hits Zelina Vega on the fucking face with a knee. Now she kicks Liv Morgan on the fucking face? I mean, what the fuck has she been doing all this fucking time that she was out? You know, out of TV. You have a fucking husband that can wrestle his fucking ass out. And you can't fucking tell me that you're going to go out there with, seriously, as apparent as it is, no fucking training prior to coming back on TV. And you're fucking hurting everybody in the process. Okay? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, seriously. These yes kids were fucking dead. Like, they were fucking legit. They were legit to Liv Morgan. I'm more than positive she's going to come out with fucking black and blues, broken nose, what the fuck ever. I don't know. But she is seriously... I know for a fact that she went immediately to get checked backstage as soon as this match ended. But yet you want me to fucking, cheer on. Yes, the Divas. Oh my... Oh, wait, did I use the Divas term? Oh, shit. Let me fucking take that back. The women's division. Yes. Because, the women's division is still the Divas division under the fucking women's fucking word. So how the fuck am I supposed to take the women's division seriously when all I see on TV is the Bellas fucking back-to-back-to-back weeks, right? And then I see Nia Jax for a second week in a fucking row, right? And Alicia Fox for a second fucking week in a row. But where the fuck is Sasha Banks? Bayley! She was resorted to fucking come out with Finn Balor. The one that started the whole revolution down back in NXT Brooklyn 3 years ago. What is she being resorted to? Oh, Finn Balor. Coming out to cheer Finn Balor. Oh, yes. Yeah. And where the fuck is Sasha Banks? Seriously. WWE wants you to take the fucking women's division, women's revolution seriously, but... this is what we get. Oh, but Stephanie really she listens to... Yeah, we listen to the fucking people. No, you fucking don't. Because if you seriously would have listened to the fucking audience, what the fucking fans want, we want real wrestling. What we're getting on Monday Night Raw, week to week, is fucking bullshit. There is no wrestling. There is no storyline. This is just merely fucking... putting the fucking wrong people in the forefront of the women's revolution. Yeah, sure, okay. But you, again, like I said, but you want me to fucking be excited about the women's revolution and like, no, bitch, this is not a revolution. This is a fucking devolution. Because WWE really fucking thinks that their fucking audience is 100% fucking either delusional, stupid, retarded. I don't know what the fuck word to use. But I just have to get this off my chest before I continue on with this review, because I just cannot understand how we're getting the likes of Nia Jax and Alicia Fox and, and look at Ember Moon. Look at Ember Moon. What she was down in NXT. And look what she's doing now. Cheering Nia Jax. Really? This is this is what you're really giving us, WWE? Come the fuck on, people. Seriously. Open your fucking eyes. There is nothing going on as far as evolution goes in this fucking women's division on Raw. It's not happening. There is nothing that's making this evolution, revolution, movement, whatever you want to call it, making it more notorious. Outside of Ronda Rousey being the Raw Women's Champion, that's it. And that's not even in itself a big deal because Ronda is still green as fuck on the ring, okay? I might like her, but you can't deny the fact that she is green as fuck on the ring, okay? And she's only being used for her fucking name. How did they get this fucking deal with Fox or CBS or whatever the fucking deal that they got going on? Oh, Ronda Rousey. Look, a name, a big name. That, she was in UFC. No, we're gonna use her so we can milk out the fucking Revolution and get eyes on the division. That way it can get attention. Notoriety, publicity. But on the fucking on behind the scenes, what do you really think is going on? Nothing as far as advancing and moving forward with the women's revolution. No wrestling happened tonight as far as the women's go, because Carmella and Paige were making a fucking big deal about it on Twitter, saying how, they're being referred to as divas because, they were saying, the article said that they were horrific as far as the Bella Twins coming out week in and week out, and they're not really using the real talent as far as for the likes of Sasha, Bayley, Ember Moon, Asuka, that shit right there. But they're saying that, we're ridiculous, and the article in itself was ridiculous because we're bashing the women because they still apparently look like it's a divas division. Well, guess what? It's still a divas division in my eyes. The only thing that's changed is the term diva to women. That's all I see different from this fucking division. And if you don't see that, then maybe you should start fucking opening your eyes. Because seriously, this is not going to go any time forward and getting any better. This is just only being stagnant. This is not being better. Okay, Stephanie's just fucking proclaiming that she listens to the audience, but in all reality, people, for the last either year or two, you have not seen anything as far as making the women's division that much better. They're not. And again, like I said, if you do not see that, then maybe you should start opening your fucking eyes. Moving on. Raw starts with Baron Corbin. He's in the backstage and he welcomes Stephanie McMahon. Happy birthday, apparently, to Steph. I don't know how old she is, but whatever. Baron is being scolded by Stephanie for poor management control. No control last week as far as because he put himself in a championship match against Roman Reigns for the Universal title last week. Then we have her saying that he has no leadership, he has no control, and that he needs to step it up, or he might just give, that one person that used to be the manager of Monday Night Raw a call to come back. And Baron says, no, I'm going to make things better. I'm going to step up my game. I'm going to surprise you, Stephanie. I'm going to make it better. And then Stephanie goes on to say that you're going to make it happen by having a match against the Shield and two partners of your choosing. Okay? So that happens. And then we have the Shield come out. And you have Ambrose say that they're the three workhorses. And oh my goodness, really now? Do you really think that's true? Well, maybe it is because you know how the Shield is definitely and always coming out week in and week out, and that's pretty much what Monday Night Raw revolves around. The Shield. What else do we see that's being put on the forefront as far as storyline and trying to have us intrigued to keep watching this show? And then Roman has the audacity to say that these titles are the keys to the kingdom as far as the Universal and IC title. I'm sitting here like, This fucking dude. Really? The Universal title? Come the fuck on. What is he worth of the Universal title? Seriously. Again. How this company insults your fucking intelligence, it's ridiculous. I cannot understand how... Universal title, really? The keys to the kingdom? Yeah, because, I took the title seriously on a person that had it for a year and a fucking half in Brock Lesnar, and I only saw the title a handful of fucking times, but yet you want me to fucking take it as like it's a key to the kingdom. That title is as worthless as a fucking plastic replica of it at Walmart for $10.99. That's how much it's worth. That's how much that title is worth. In other words, shit. Because now it's being held by somebody that the audience doesn't want, okay, in Roman Reigns. So he wants to fucking bring prestige and he wants to defend it week in and week out. Okay. Well, guess what? No matter what you do, you're not going to get cheered. You're not going to get the favor from the fans. You're not going to be accepted. WWE needs to fucking understand that, But what do I know? What am I talking about? Something that has been said again and again and again for the past 4 years. So they go on and say that they are the only ones to deserve those titles. And then Seth calls out Baron Corbin. And he says that if Baron has a problem with the Shield, that he should deal with it right now. And then Baron says that the people that he is going to have tag team with tonight, they're going to throw them around like rag dolls. And immediately, when he said throw around like rag dolls, I could not think about anybody else but AOP. Because, what other tag team is going to just fling them around and, throw them around like Baron proclaimed that he's going to do. I knew it. Like, this is the best. I knew as soon as he said it, he definitely was going to come out with AOP. And rightfully so. And that's exactly what happened. And I'm glad because AOP has been booked to do nothing but squash local talent, no names, whatever. Who cares? Now they're in a program. Now they're going to get the attention that they need. And now they're being booked properly with bigger names. And what better way to have them, have them display their talent, than the Shield. Now they're getting the attention that they need. I'm glad that that's going on. So, but anyways, moving on. Braun comes out on that, in that same segment at the beginning. And he comes out with Ziggler and Drew. And oh my God, man. Seriously? Braun comes out, right? They're in the ramp. And he looks at Drew. And he looks at Dolph. And then they do the fucking Braun pose. Like, what the fuck? I'm like, come, that's just silly. That's silly as fuck. They look stupid, okay? They shouldn't be fucking resorting to doing what Braun does, Like, let them be their own person. Like, I don't like that. And the same thing happened with Finn, months ago. And he looked, and then Finn coming, doing the pose, with his arms up and doing all that smiley bullshit that he's still in. I think they should just stay away from doing that silly shit. You know what I mean? And then Braun announces the whole Super Showdown match. And then he announces a 4 versus 3 tag match, saying how Dean is seeing the light. And as I mentioned in the beginning of the podcast, planting the seed on Dean Ambrose's, head, as far as him not needing the Shield, but the Shield needs him. So Dean basically is a puppet to the Shield, in the words of Dean. Braun and Drew and Ziggler. And they go on to walk down to face the Shield, and then Baron puts a stop on them, and said that he'll deal with the Shield with his tag partners. So that happens, and then Finn Balor with Bayley is announced. Again, Bayley resorted to being a cheerleader for Finn Balor. Oh, really now? BNB they call him. I should call Bad News Barrett, okay? And I will tell them, listen, man, they're stealing your fucking initials. BNB. You know? Shit. BNB. They cannot get any more original. So, Finn Balor comes out with Bayley, and he has a match against Mahal with Alicia Fox and Sunil Singh. Basically, this match was just to promote the Mixed Match Challenge that no one gives a fuck about, okay? Because I don't watch it. I'm more than positive that if you're watching me, knowing how I don't sugarcoat shit, you're not going to watch that bullshit. You know? Who cares about the Mixed Match Challenge? At the end of the day, it's nothing that's going to interest me. There's nothing going on for it as far as relating to the main roster, you know? It's just, you know, it uses fucking show. And nothing really special goes on in this match. Nothing out of the ordinary, you know. The only thing that we heard was just the crowd chanting "Too Sweet," you know, and doing the Marty Scurll whoop whoop thing. Sunil Singh interferes, and then Bayley interferes as well, and then Bayley and Alicia Fox get into a cat fight. Let me take that back. No cat fights. This is a women's revolution. They get in a brawl. Sorry. Excuse me. And then Bayley goes on to hit a Bayley to belly on Singh, and then Balor wins with a roll-up by distraction. People, do you see what Finn Balor is being resorted to now? What he's being resorted to for the past fucking year and a half. You know, after this guy lost the Universal title that day after he debuted at SummerSlam, okay, and he won the championship versus Seth Rollins. In that very moment after he came back, and he was away, and he came back, he was never the same. So, if I was Finn Balor, okay, Finn Balor needs to, you know, wait till that contract is up, and I will take my happy ass back to New Japan. Seriously. I will get involved with the Bullet Club again. Because I want it, you want it, I'm more than positive that anyone wants it if they want to see Finn Balor being used properly. Because he's being booked to fucking nothing. Now you're going to resort him to go out and promote a Mixed Match Challenge match, you know, type of shit. That's all he's being used for now? That's all you got for Finn Balor? Besides, you know, coming out with that big ass smile on his face for what? Nothing. Nothing. All he does is come out, you know, with his fucking jacket, you know, leather jacket. He comes out and then the fucking camera pans on his fucking crotch. Okay? All smiles and shit. You're smiling for what? Nothing. So again, this match, promoting the Mixed Match Challenge. That's all it is. So, you didn't miss anything when it came to this match. Alright. So, moving on. Natalya with the Bella Twins versus the Riot Squad. Another tag team match for the women. You know, again, as I said, the Bella Twins coming out yet again for what? The third or fourth week in a row. But where is Sasha? Nowhere to be found. So, Brimo bullshit. This, you know, Before this, listen, people. As soon as I saw those yes kicks, not even yes kicks, those botch kicks to Liv Morgan. Seriously, again, I have to say, what has this woman done when she was out, okay, and not on TV? What was she doing? What was she doing all this time? Besides attending her daughter, of course, Birdie Joe. If you know you're coming back, okay, I'm going to make sure that I, rub off all the rust, the ring rust, okay, before coming back. And I'm going to make sure that I know what I'm doing, and I'm not going to go out there like a fucking maniac and injure people potentially week in and week out. Kicking Liv Morgan twice on the face with those yes kicks? Oh, I'm sorry, botch kicks. I mean, seriously, if Liv Morgan does not have a broken nose or a jaw, a broken, a lip, whatever, I'll be surprised. But those are two stiff ass kicks to Liv Morgan's face. Okay? If I was the Riot Squad, matter of fact, if I was anybody coming out to face the Bellas, especially Brie, no. Absolutely not. She fucking botched the fuck out of the, not even, how do you fuck up every single week you come out? Seriously. Nikki is definitely the better of the two. Okay? She's definitely the better of the two. And you can definitely see it. But my God, those kicks were fucking horrendous. Anyways, Brimo bullshit, triple suplex from Natalya and the Bellas to the Riot Squad. Blind tag from Ruby to tag out Sarah Logan. And a kick to Natty while she's applying the sharpshooter to Sarah Logan. And Ruby hits the Riot kick and pins Natalya for the win. And that was pretty much that. Nothing special. Again, women being resorted to 6-man tag matches. When have we not seen this already? This is worn out. It's something that I just don't understand. And I the women being resorted to nothing. These tag matches are just fucking pathetic. The Raw creative, the creative team really need to fucking be fired and fucking bring in people that really know what the fuck they're doing. Either just fucking don't have them come out, or either have them come out and have something going on for them storyline wise, because this is going nowhere. Seriously, this is really seriously not going anywhere. So anyways, and then Dean and Dolph backstage. Dolph telling Dean Ambrose how the Shield doesn't care about him, how they almost forgot, about him, and how he had that staph infection and he could have almost died, the usual, like I mentioned in the beginning of the podcast. They don't care. They didn't show care. They didn't text him, call him. Little. They did little of that. Just continuing on the potential seed of Dean turning heel on his brothers. And then look what we have for the third or fourth week in a row. Connor versus Chad Gable. Again, if this does not end by Bobby Roode turning heel on Chad Gable, this has been a complete waste of fucking time. And that's not even the point. The point is, again, really, Chad Gable versus The Ascension. versus Connor. How many times are we going to see this, week after week? What the fuck, WWE? Seriously. I know for a fact that this can, I will give too much credit to WWE if I have high hopes of them, booking better fucking matches for the show. Chad Gable is an amazing fucking talent. This is what you have for him. Bobby Roode continuously playing the cheerleader for Chad and being wasted to nothing but matches against the Ascension, which they're fucking absolutely nothing of importance in the show. And then Corey goes on to say on commentary that, the Ascension hasn't had the best of luck since coming into Monday Night Raw. And I'm like, well, that's fucking, that's his fault maybe, that they haven't had the best luck on Raw. Really now. No. You mean being booked horribly. Yes. That's what you meant to say, Corey. So, the armbar on ropes to Connor by Chad Gable. German suplex for a 2 count. Full-on tackle by Chad by Connor. And then Connor hits a Dominator-esque look-alike move on Chad for the win. Again, another match that I did not give a fuck about. It didn't advance anything. They're just stagnant. They're just rinse and repeat. They took the fucking, the script from last week. They inserted it into this week. That's pretty much it. There's nothing going on as far as advancing storyline. And as I said last week, if this does not end Bobby Roode turning heel, then this has been a waste of my fucking time. Which it already is, because I'm tired of fucking seeing Chad, Gable versus the Ascension. So, what do you know? Then you have Charlie come out on backstage and ask Triple H about his thoughts on Taker's, comments on Triple H last week. He goes on to say that, Triple H goes on to say that he's not going to be fighting in suits. I'm not going to be corporate. And as far as that he sold his soul, he already did that a long time ago. And that the end is near. So that was that. And then we have Drew and Dolph versus the Revival for the Raw Tag Team Championships. This was a match that I was happy to see because the Revival was out there doing what they do best, and that is wrestle. They looked amazing out there. I loved it. I loved that Raw actually had these guys come out there and wrestle, not be wasted. They looked great out there. And of course, it takes two to tango. You have the team of Drew and Dolph, which they can fucking wrestle, okay? And then, they feed off of each other. It's great to see, the Revival looking strong here because they look strong. They had near pinfalls, okay? They displayed how versatile they can be. They could be a little bit of high flying. They could be, they could be technical. If you've watched them in NXT, you know what these guys can really do. That match with DIY in NXT Toronto. What else do you want to see? Like what else do they need to do to convince you that they are top tier talent? The Revival. They're fucking awesome. This is a great fucking match. This match I really enjoyed. So they go back and forth on the match. Northern Lights driver to Dolph by Dawson. Tag from Dash. Dawson, and he does an over-the-top shoulder tackle to Dolph Ziggler. They go outside. Dolph counters with an Irish whip and throws Wilder to the steps. Butterfly powerbomb to Dolph for a close 2 count by Dawson. Dawson hits a superplex. Then Wilder goes for a splash. Tornado DDT outside to Drew McIntyre by Wilder. And Wilder does an electric chair drop to Dolph. And Dawson hits a clothesline for another close 2 count. And then Dolph tags in Drew for the zigzag and Claymore combo to retain the tag team titles. So again, great match. I hope to see the Revival do better. I hope to see the Revival being booked better by creative. I'm glad. I mean, like I said, this team it's just not any fucking team. They ain't no fucking walk in the park. These guys can fucking wrestle. These guys can go out there and put on a fucking show, and they had the crowd going for them. They were cheering. They were lively in this match because they were out there doing what they do best, and that is wrestle. Like I said, so great stuff here by the the Revival and Drew and Dolph Ziggler. Great match. I hope to see the Revival being booked better from now on, because if you're gonna do this and you're just gonna have them do nothing next week, then this was all for nothing, because this solidified them and sold them. They sold themselves to the crowd. The crowd loved it. So then we have the Kevin Owens show, and they have Elias out and says that Denver doesn't deserve a performance by him. So he calls out Kevin Owens, comes out. Owens says, talks about last week and how their match with Bobby Lashley and John Cena for Super Showdown in Australia. And yeah, how Owens said, the man I beat on my very first night on the main roster, yeah. And sadly, now you're pretty much, nothing. Being inserted into a feud with Bobby Lashley, what is that going to do for you? So, Owens being a great talent, what else? What else can I say? Seriously, what else can I say? There's nothing, but to hope that WWE fucking opens their fucking eyes and books this guy better. They fucking, they tainted, they destroyed, they fucking terminated what Kevin Owens used to be. And I was a prize fighter. Someone that would go out there and did not give a fuck who was out there, to face. He would go out there and kick some ass. But now, he's been resorting to nothing. So Leo Rush comes out and, Kevin and Elias tell Leo to come down to the ring and talk and whatnot. And then Elias pulls out, I believe, a booster seat. Man, seriously, that was funny. But, I'm thinking, this has to be something, backstage, fuck. You got Elias, a big dude. You got Kevin, a big dude. And then you got, Leo Rush, treating the smaller guys like a joke, it's when really Leo Rush can go in the ring and is definitely better than Elias. I'm more than positive. Okay. So, he pulls out that baby, that booster seat, baby seat, whatever. And then Leo says that he's just gonna stay up there on the ramp, and then Elias says, man, just come on, come on down here, let's have a talk. And then Leo brings out Bobby Lashley, and the match is set between Lashley and Elias. Slow start, crossbody to Elias by Lashley, side slam for a two count by Lashley. Elias with a chop block, and on Bobby Lashley's right leg, and then he continues on to work on it, and then hits the legs on the ring post twice, I believe. And then a clothesline to the outside from Bobby to Elias. Elias with a drop kick to Bobby on the right leg to kick him out of the apron onto the outside. And then Bobby did a vertical suplex. And at this point I'm thinking, like, doesn't your right leg hurt enough to, like, not be able to hold Elias that long up, in the vertical position? I don't know. Whatever. And then KO goes on to chase Leo, but accidentally hits Bobby on the outside for a DQ. And, Bobby saves Leo Rush from a powerbomb because Leo was going to get ganged up by KO and Elias. And, that was pretty much it. Now, as far as me, on my thoughts on this, reports were saying that this pairing between Leo and Bobby was a Paul Heyman thing. I really hope that this brings out the best of Bobby Lashley, but seriously, in all honesty, what does Bobby really have going on for him as far as personality? This guy can be easily, listen, this guy can easily be created on any WWE game. All you have to do is just put a bandana, some short tights, boots, knee pads, whatever the hell he has on, elbow pads. That's it. That's all you gotta do. What I'm getting to is that this guy is just not original. Like, he just looks like just a whatever. Like, he doesn't have a look that, like, draws you in. Like, man, yeah, this guy is different. Like, no, man, this guy is, he doesn't even have personality, charisma. He's just boring. Look, like I said last week, he comes out to a theme that when you listen to it and you've not seen this guy, right? Let's say you don't know Bobby Lashley, and you listen to this theme, and he comes out, and you see this guy smiling and, fist pumping and, high-fiving the crowd, and it's like, what the fuck? Wait, hold on. So you're telling me that this guy has this theme, okay? This intimidating sounding theme and shit, and then this guy comes out to just smiles and shit? Really now? Like, come on, man. WWE doesn't know what the fuck they're doing with Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley himself does not have anything going on for himself as it is. So, in reality, Leo Rush is the one entertaining here. And, he's just displaying what he can do. You saw him do all that, athletic shit that he did on the outside and whatnot. That's pretty much what's going on here. Like, as far as Bobby Lashley goes, there's nothing that has changed about him. He's still, if you take Leo Rush out and you just have Bobby Lashley come out, he's gonna do the same old shit. Fist bump, whatever the fuck, point at the crowd, high five the kids, whatever. End of story, whatever. Nothing really stands out for Bobby Lashley. He came in cold, still cold, will continue to be cold because this guy is not, interesting. So, that was it. And then we have Drew and Seth backstage. And again, Seth telling Drew on how he is potentially used by Braun Strowman and Ziggler. Ziggler being the weak link, And that's why Braun, has recruited him for the Dogs of War, and how Drew is just being resorted to help out Ziggler and pretty much just have him, protect him and keep the IC title kind of shit, And then And then after Seth walks out, Dolph pops up and asks Drew, what was that about? And then Drew goes on to say, don't worry about it. And he walks out. And then we have Alicia with Mickey and Alexa versus Nia with Ember Moon. Again, what is exciting about this women's revolution bullshit? Nia Jax again. Where is Sasha? Where is Sasha Banks? The best performer in Monday Night Raw. Where is Sasha? Where is the real leader one of the real leaders of the women's revolution? Because the Bellas is not. The Bellas are not. Okay? Where's Sasha? Anyways, who cares about this match? Nia wins via pinfall with a Samoan drop. Big deal. Whatever. This did nothing at all. Who cares? I feel sorry for Ember Moon. Seriously, I feel sorry for Ember Moon. This is what you got for Ember Moon. This is all you have for Ember Moon. You're pushing the wrong people to fucking represent the women's revolution. The wrong people. You're doing it ass backwards, WWE. The talent that you have on Monday Night Raw, okay? Ember, Ruby, Sasha, Bayley, they're fucking being resorted to being either not coming out or being cheerleaders. Bravo, WWE. You're really doing a fucking great job with this revolution. Yeah, sure. Okay. Fuck out of here. Anyways. Now, they showed Drew and Dean backstage. And Drew went on to say, what was that about, that Seth was telling him kind of thing, whatever. And how Drew telling Seth how either Seth is trying to make a 4-man Shield, or maybe it was all true about what they said earlier about Dean. And again, like I said, the difference between what the Dogs of War told Dean and what Seth told Drew is that the Dogs of War, they just got together. They haven't had any beef with one another. Yeah, that, Drew might feel like, yeah, Seth is true. Seth is right. I might be being used or whatever. But Drew one-upped Dean, and the Shield into telling him it's not like Seth has stabbed you in the back before. Again, that right there. That is the difference maker right there. Like seriously. That is the one thing that's going to fuel this Dean Ambrose heel turn. The fact that he wasn't texted, the fact that he wasn't called much by either Roman or Seth, that's A. B, he has no title, and he sees how Roman and Seth how they're being successful. Okay? And C, that before, let's just say that, but a crazy thought. Before Seth or Roman can fucking turn on Dean himself, maybe he just backstab them first before they can do it. But that's just, just putting it out there, But the main reasons are because he wasn't sought out by his supposed brothers, and the fact that he has no championship, and that he does not need the Shield, but the Shield needs him. After that, we get a video package from Taker, Shawn, and Triple H. And when it is sad that this is the one thing that gets this much promotion, this is the one feud that gets, a video package. It gets you all hyped up. Really? You're resorting to these people that are on their way out of wrestling for good? Aged people, aged talent, to make this show bearable to watch, to draw people in, to draw in the audience, old and new, especially old. And why? Oh, that's right, because WWE does not know how to fuck to build talent. They have yet to create stars and create megastars, okay, to have the star power that these people have. Roman got no star power, he might be fucking, the talk of the show, but this guy, he ain't gonna be no fucking Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Undertaker. No one can be Taker for one. Again, WWE, lack of creating stars. Where, what are we gonna have? What we're gonna WWE is really gonna resort to these old timers to draw in and make this, this time of the year where football is out there and nobody gives a fuck about WWE. They're gonna resort to Taker and Triple H and Shawn Michaels to draw people in, to keep us intrigued. But what happens when they make their way out completely of wrestling? What happens when they retire completely from in-ring action? Who are you going to have? You cannot rely on Roman Reigns and the Shield. That's not going to happen. What's going on here is, if obviously you have not fucking have not realized, is that WWE has put their fucking dozen eggs in one basket with Roman Reigns. Because once, you see that there is no going forward with Roman Reigns because he's not going to be accepted by the crowd, who are you going to turn to? Who are you going to turn to? Okay? Who? Because Finn, where's Finn now? Finn is nothing. Where's Kevin Owens? Oh, he's nothing. How they came in to the main roster, okay, coming in strong, fresh off of NXT, and you give, fast forward 2 years, where are they now? The people that you want to push to fucking, wait, I'm sorry, they're not homegrown talent from WWE. That's probably why. Either indies, because there were indie people, indie darlings, or not homegrown talent, but even so, when you bring up fucking talent that's homegrown from WWE, they still don't get booked fucking properly. Example, Ty Dillinger, Apollo Crews, what's gonna happen when they call Velveteen Dream up? I really want to see this shit, because when that day happens, I'm gonna cry. I'm legit gonna cry. Like, seriously, I'm scared for this guy, and for Adam Cole, for War Raiders, all I'm saying is we have to enjoy them as long as they're in NXT, because once they're being brought up to the main roster, forget about it. They're just gonna be resorted to fucking nothingness. They're gonna be booked like shit. And you know that I'm not talking out of my ass, because you know it, I know it, everyone fucking knows it. So, the Shield comes out with AOP. I'm sorry. The Shield versus Corbin and AOP. Like I said, when Baron Corbin said that these are my two tag partners, again, from the very beginning of the show, when he said that he's going to throw the Shield around with his partners like ragdolls around the ring, immediately I thought about AOP. AOP is the team that makes sense to come out and put themselves on the map on this show, because they are fun to watch. I love their gear. I love their look. The only thing, again, like I said, I don't like is how Now Drake Maverick is their manager, and I think that everyone agrees that Paul Ellering should have continued to be the manager for AOP. Because AOP, like seriously, like that was the one thing that they felt unique. They had Paul Ellering, and now they have Drake Maverick come out with their fucking their riot gear, whatever. It's just bullshit. I don't like it. It takes away from AOP. He just doesn't fit. To me, it was just like I said, a 12-year-old playing 2K, and he just happened to plug in Drake Maverick to manage AOP. And then when that match is announced and they start the match, Dogs of War, Braun, Dolph, and Drew come out with chairs and they sit on the ramp to watch. So, double suplex by Seth and Dean to Baron. The Dogs of War come walking down and distract the Shield. AOP takes advantage. They hit, they hit him with the forearms to the back. Seth hits a blockbuster to Akam, goes for the stomp, but Corbin drags him out from to the outside. Double team by AOP to Rollins. How Akam, I believe, holds him on a sidewalk position, side slam position, and then I believe I think Akam comes down and pushes down Seth with his leg, and then we have Seth hit the Sling Blade, tries to tag Dean, but Razor knocks Dean off of the apron, and Corbin hits a deep 6 for a close 2 count. Seth makes a hot tag to Dean, knocks Baron out with a clothesline, and then Akam knocks Dean off of the top rope when he drags in Corbin back inside. Akam knocks Dean off the top rope, and then he goes up again. Dean goes up again to the top rope and then hits a clothesline, but AOP breaks the pin. And then Superman punch from out of nowhere to Razor from Roman. And then Seth hits the stomp on Baron. And then Dirty Deeds to Corbin. And then Roman tags in Dean for the spear to Corbin for the win. And after the match, Dean is sitting outside, and I knew it's too soon for it to happen. Way too soon for Dean to already turn on the Shield. This needs to be done properly. The seed is planted, like I said in the beginning of this review. The seed is planted. It's gonna happen. I want to believe it's gonna happen. Because it's going to happen. Like, seriously. If WWE does not capitalize on this, if they really want the people to be intrigued to watch this show, they're going to turn Dean Ambrose heel. So, with that said, Dean is sitting out there, then he gets up, looks at the Dogs of War, and he makes a face like, nah, no. Goes back in the ring, celebrates the victory with the Shield, and then Raw goes off the air. Now, this show wasn't 100% bad. I love the tag team match between Drew and Dolph versus the Revival. That's pretty much only the thing I liked. So that's 5% of the show right there.